So today in this session, we are going to get, best of both worlds, the product world as well as the service world. And we are also get a deep dive into his wisdom of how he has managed his experience of developing products, building teams, and, in general, his experience in startups. So, sir, how are you doing?
Absolutely well, fine. So it's been a pleasure in this 30 years of journey in the field of IT. Like, I've seen it all, done it all. Okay. Like, if whatever is there in this setup in this room, if somebody had told me that when I was doing my studies, if somebody had told me that I could have this in my hand, I would have said it's only possible in the Star Trek movie, nowhere else. Like, we were struggling at one point of time to get 8K kilobytes of RAM, okay? And today, like, people don't even understand what 8 kilobyte would be. People only understand megabytes and gigabytes and all those terminologies. So yeah, it has been an amazing journey. The kind of life that we have lived in tech, I think hardly anybody would have lived seen that kind of development from a 8088 based CPU to what is available, the i7s and the i9s and the i11s that are available in the market today. So an amazing journey.
So when we speak about the changes that has been happening since 30 years and the rate of change that is going on, and I mean, if you actually think about technology and in general market, business oriented market, 30 years ago versus 20 years ago versus 10 years ago and 5 years ago, the rate of change has been drastically different. I want your perspective on how it used to be running a business, a tech business, like 20, 30 years down the line, and how it is running the business in probably today's world or maybe 5 years in this 5 years.
An amazing question. Like, when we started out, things were very simple. Like, we had one operating system, one variation. We did not even know what a browser was. Okay. And when we think of a browser at one point of time, 90% of the market was by the
Internet Explorer.
And things used to be very simple, very straightforward. Network was literally came in when I was literally like 5 years into my IT life, when network were first thought of. And those networks were a different breed altogether, where you talk about Novell network being there, and then the whole thing started moving. But the change that has happened in the last maybe 5 years or maybe 10 years is cannot be compared at all with anything that I have seen ever. Like, your operating systems have changed, the interoperability has come in, the Wi-Fi has revolutionized everything. Like, where we used to only talk about wired connectivity, nobody even understands wired connectivity now. So it is so different, but it is a extremely joyous moment for me to see this kind of revolution happening. I remember when I stepped out of my last company to start my first business, Tasha Tech, all the technologies that I had heard of were new. Like, you talk about MVC based architecture or things like that, yet it was not even understood what MVC was. And then all of a sudden stepping out and doing this in a very structured manner, the ALM tools that are available, the automation that has happened, the release management that has happened, all of them are really, really revolutionizing everything. If you understand, like Facebook does say 1,000 releases a day, and we don't even feel the blip in our connectivity. So these are things that have really changed the way we are looking at things. Really amazing.